am I? Testing. This is Hennessy Williams joining you for a fantastic voyage into sound. I'm joined here.
That's hilarious.
It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby.
Yo, and welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast. It's your girl, Claudia Renee, on your airwaves, and this is episode 159. Cheers, bitches.
It's the ambition hour, baby.
Cheers, Hennessy.
Cheers. Oh my God.
To episode 159. Cheers, Hav.
Cheers.
If you are listening, you can hear that I am not by myself today, so I'm just going to go ahead and introduce everybody in the room. Of course, I have my co-host, House 600, in the building.
So you already know.
We also have Hennessy Wills in the building.
How we doing?
Very grateful to have you here.
I'm very grateful to be invited.
Yes, thank you so much for coming today.
Exciting time.
Right? I'm excited. I'm really excited to have you here. We've been vibing a little bit before.
Yes.
So that's always dope. Like I said before, this is the Ambition Hour podcast. I'm your girl, Claudia Renee. Thank you guys so much for joining us this week. If you are listening to us for the first time, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your auntie, tell everybody that the Ambition Hour podcast dropped a new episode with Hennessy Wills. And they got to tune in because it's going to be a good one, as always. So, yes, it's WTW Saturday. So make sure that you go ahead and check out CAB's brand new project that just dropped. What can you please tell them the name?
Yeah, Million Roses.
I was going to...
It's out now. CAB. Drop the classic.
Drop the classic.
Drop the classic. I mean, what more can we say? Go listen to that on streaming and available on all streaming platforms. Listen to it. Give us, tell us which one's your favorite for we could shoot a video with CA.
I know that's right. So yes, I want to say congratulations to CAB. That's my other little big brother, and I'm very proud of you. Make sure y'all go listen to my other little big brother's music. Like, listen, it's WTW in here. It's WTW Saturday, so that means we're dropping a brand new episode of the Ambition Hour podcast. And like I said, very grateful to be here. I feel like I say this very often, but every time I record a new episode, I just feel like a whole new sense of gratitude. So we start the episode, every single episode, with sharing what we're grateful for. Since you are our guest, Hennessy, I would like to ask you first what you are grateful for this week.
This week.
Yes. Got it.
I'm grateful for friends.
Yeah.
How many of us have them?
Friends.
Thank you for doing that one for me.
Yeah, of course. Okay, but the reason I'm grateful for my friends is because, I had a snapshot of all the types of people I've met in my life during this week, where it comes from, on one end, we have the people I've known since I was, a kid. And one of my best friends, and he has a baby, and we're in a group chat, and he sent us a picture of his baby, and I'm like, this nigga has a baby. I've known this nigga since I was 14. Now he has a baby. And then I got other friends where I'm going to a birthday party being thrown at the Improv, performing just with a friend of mine, Fat and Funny show put on by him and Nick Souffrant, and and I've known those guys for years, and it's just one of those things where I was like, man, I'm just this guy who's met people who are so fucking weird and awesome. They're all and for their own specific reasons that we should get into, but for legal reasons we cannot. But they're all dope.
This ain't bad.
Say less.
Shout out to DJ Vlad. We the police. We tell it on niggas.
No, the fuck we ain't.
This will sound like you had a record deal.
That's awesome. Friends are an amazing part of life, because I have friends that I've known, but my best friend, I've known her since I was 16 years old, and it's just to think, she has her own place now, and it's just it's cool to see the different transitions of your friends' lives, like how you said, your friend having a kid, you've probably done some shit with that person. You're like, this person's a parent.
No,
you're in charge of somebody else's life right now.
It's absurd. It's absurd. When you fucking raw, okay, you gotta look this person in the eye and understand that something could happen that's permanent. And then it happens. And he didn't just like leave the country. That's such a thing that people do a lot, like flee, just run away. He didn't do none of that shit. He was just like, it's a baby and it's mine. And he stayed. And that's crazy because that shit is hard. Being a parent is so fucking hard. Like I used to hate on my parents for being my parents. And then I was like, that shit seems hard. Once I had conversations with them when they're like, you know, there was times where I didn't know if you'll ever learn how to read. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean? There were times you thought I would never fucking learn how to read.
I'm sorry, because that's some funny ass shit.
Yeah,
we did bring a comedian.
It's funny, but at the same time, like, it's kind of sad because it's like, oh shit, I didn't know you guys were worrying about that. Like, that was something because like you
are you gonna get it right? It's God damn it. Dinosaur.
Oh my goodness. That was awesome. Hav, what are you grateful for this week?
That I could fucking read, I guess. I think I semi-figured it out.
That's funny.
No, but in all seriousness, but though, I'm just grateful that, man, that time tells us a lot of things, you know, and sometimes it'll be time that would tell it all. Was that deep? I don't know.
A little.
Did it make sense? But yeah, you know, like it would tell it all, you know, through like how they say in due time, in due time, in due time, in due time. And we were talking about outside. I was about to say yesterday, but just right now, about, you know, just staying consistent and staying on it, and how basically luck doesn't hit you if you're not working. So you got to stay working in order for opportunity to come.
Absolutely.
So fuck.
Opportunity can't knock if you're not living in there.
Oh
yeah,
right.
That's a word. That's a word. Oh my god. Like I've had those.
Do I pay my tithes now?
Feelings. Yeah.
That's the correct collection plate, please. Social distance, of course.
Just that one in the stick. You know what I'm saying? School churches.
Yo!
They put it on a stick.
No.
We gonna need you to pay these tithes.
We don't need you to pay. Yeah. That's because we social distance. Don't mean we don't need that money to be distant from us.
Dang, that took me back.
And the Lord's word.
That took me back. So this week was that all, huh?
Yeah. What are you grateful for, Claudia? Tell us.
It's very obvious. I'm very grateful for my brand new puppy.
Oh yeah, of course.
Bae.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to talk about it so soon.
I couldn't wait. I was just like, I'm just very grateful because this is a dog that I've wanted since I was like 8 years old.
We did it.
Yeah.
Since you were 8 years old, you've been wanting this dog. Wow.
Yeah.
What dog like it? Not literally this dog.
No, well, yeah. Like, I wanted the breed.
Yeah.
I wanted the type of breed of dog because I just always, I loved it. My third grade teacher had it in class.
Yeah.
Imagine there's a golden retriever, a dog in your class every single day. Like, you get to brush its hair. You get to brush
No one
its...
was blind in the class at night?
No, it was the teacher. It was the teacher. She was on a wheelchair. Shout out to Miss Kaliska. I don't know if she's alive or not.
Yo, hey, I thought about a whole Pixar movie about little Claudia not having a dog, and she had to wait 28 years.
That's crazy because I did it because I had dogs in between, but they were always like never the one I wanted. Like, it was just like...
I had dogs in between. Fellas, pay attention. Listen, nigga she want. She gonna always want that nigga. It don't matter. Ride it out, have a good time, treat her well, be respectful, but understand. Understand.
Where you stand.
That's funny. That's a fact though. It's funny because like since I've gotten my dog, and I guess we'll just like start and then of course get into like other the fun stuff. It something that I've noticed is that my texting has been very like, it was bad and then now it's like gone like to shit because
just dry.
Just because of like I'm just like, bro, like I'm a whole mom out here, like I can't be responding to you. Like someone said, they were like, oh, now I have competition, and I'm like, yeah, you do. Like I don't know you, bro. Like it's
I don't know you, bruh. Like, yeah, that's real steel right there.
Yeah, so like,
I don't know you, bruh.
Like I don't know you.
Just
so
met the dog.
Yeah, so I did just meet the dog, but it's very, very different.
Absolutely.
I have I don't have responsibility to write back to you. Like All right.
You ain't gonna poop on my floor.
Yeah, for real. Jesus, that's something else that has been quite an adventure.
Yeah. Any tips? Let us know in the chat. I mean, in the comments.
In the comments, please. So we have Hennessy Wills in the building, like I said.
Yeah, the one and only.
I'm very grateful to have you here. We saw you at a stand-up a couple weeks ago. Damn, it's about to be a month. Maybe like give it a couple more weeks.
It was January, so we coming up on it.
Yeah, we're coming up on it. So that was it was, I don't know if.
It was like my first time outside.
It was like my first time being,
or like live events.
Yes.
Which was like,
I was like, bro, I'm gonna catch the COVID out here.
It was
there were so many people. I was like, oh Jesus, like there's mad people out here.
My knee still hasn't recovered.
Oh, because we ended up having to stand for that show. Like they didn't have enough chairs. Like that's how many people were there.
Well, like potheads, we just came late and was like, we have reservations.
We had to drive from down here to go up there. Like, so it was just like, oh, it starts at 7:30. We got there like at 8:15. Because we left at the time it was supposed to start.
Oh, you guys left at 7. Miami time.
Yeah, no.
That's when people
that's a fact.
Down here, people leave for things at the posted start time.
Listen.
Like shit start at 9, that's when they leave the house. And like, it ain't gonna start until 10:30.
Just in case it ain't late, you could just slide somewhere.
My time is very valuable.
It's very valuable.
I may be late for that. Like I always quote the Kanye song, the "I'll be late for that." Like
I'm gonna be late
always,
for that.
all the time. That's something that I'm working on. I promise.
Okay.
So you're a comedian. I heard that you also do podcasting. I also heard that you owned a restaurant.
No. Not owned a restaurant. I owned a business.
Okay, you owned a business.
Owned a business.
What was the pizza place?
Oh, that pizza thing was, we did a online video of me learning how to make a pizza.
Oh, it was just,
and it was with a guy who used to own a pizza restaurant in Tennessee. He owned like 3 restaurants or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he taught me how to make a pizza, and we live streamed it. We put it up. That was really fun.
And what was it that you learned about? What?
How to make
I learned about active yeast, dry active yeast, and how to feed it and all of the...
Feed it?
Yeah, you got to give it sugar, and it's got to be put in lukewarm water so that it activates and turns on and starts eating the sugar, and that's what's going to actually lift your bread.
Is this like a comedic type of like making pizza, or is it?
Yeah,
like...
we cracking jokes and stuff.
Because I feel like there's so many.
The idea of me just being dead ass serious and making a pizza with like on some Gordon Ramsay shit. And I'm like, boom, perfect, and it just cuts off
like
those
voila.
No jokes.
Yeah, magic. Like that was me, bitch. I feel that.
You saw how the yeast rose.
I just feel like with cooking, with a lot of those things, there's so many like double like meanings to certain things, so I feel like there's always like a joke. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's me and my humor.
That's a little comedian in you, because like comedians are the people who can't help but see a dick in the picture. Like no matter what situation you present to us, our brain finds a funny thing because it's easier to live with that than whatever your picture is.
Yeah,
I agree.
So comedians found all the dick pics in the Disney boxes type shit.
Yeah, like it was a comedian. That,
it was like a
would,
comedian
would
group
outline the dick in an old 1920s Disney picture and be like, look how he drew a dick right on Snow White's face. Used her eyes for balls. That nigga think he's slick. That's comedians.
That's funny. So something just popped into my head that I was thinking about, and it just left my head. I hate when that happens to me. Okay, so we were talking about Disney.
Yes.
Now I'm trying to remember because I'm trying to bring it back, Hennessy.
Who's your favorite Disney character?
No, it wasn't gonna be that. No.
I think he wants the question.
Okay. So it was the dick pics or something like that. It'll come to me. It's fine. But yeah, like finding the humor in everything. For me, something that I've noticed is that I always find, like, when I'm talking about something serious or when I discover something like could be something life-changing, I'm like, you know what's funny?
Now's the moment.
Yeah, like I learned like an aha moment, basically, like I realized that this or something like that. And because to me, it's just like, at the end of the day, all you can really do is laugh. Like, just.
Yeah, it's true, because you don't really have that many choices in life. One is to deal with the problem. The other is to laugh in the moment.
Yeah.
Because if you do nothing, that's a non-choice to me. Like,
Yeah.
if you have a situation that's coming in your way, because if you don't deal with it, it just grows. So you got to deal with it, but you're gonna need something to charge your batteries, and that's where that laughter comes.
Yeah. Does it happen to you a lot? I just remembered what I was gonna say.
Okay.
So does it happen to you a lot, like when you're having like normal conversations, like there's an instance that you're just like material? Do you see like you see everything like as an opportunity?
Everyone is safe and no one is safe. Like, in the sense of everything in life to me is like fair game, as long as I can demonstratively prove that I wasn't being mean when I thought of this.
If it didn't come from a dark,
if it didn't come from a dark, like
it-
mean, like hurtful.
Yeah, if I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, if I can prove that I'm not trying to hurt your feelings with the layout of my joke, the formula, the backbone of it, I'm gonna say that shit.
Yeah.
I've definitely had situations where people were like, I don't know how I feel about you saying it, but I laugh, so I don't know what you're gonna do with that information. I'm like, I can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Thanks for laughing.
For real.
Appreciate you.
The goal is to make people laugh.
Yeah.
Whether you feel weird about it or not.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, people, and you don't really.
It's a smoker's laugh. I mean, cough, guys. I promise. So-
Just getting it.
Did Hennessy was like, oh
no.
This girl gonna watch this and be like, God damn it, I told you.
I always say that when I cough, because we in a pandemic. And
can we talk about how like now any type of sickness is downplayed? Like, you don't got COVID? Okay, whatever. You know, like,
you like in bed for 5 days because of the flu and shit. Just like, but you
whatever.
tested negative, right?
you negative, right?
Got a little lightweight swine flu. I got swine flu. I ain't passing that bitch though.
Not the swine flu. Damn, remember when that was something? It wasn't as crazy as this though.
Yeah. This one feel real, boy, ain't it? This
Feel.
I know.
This bitch is
Y'all
real.
thought y'all was gonna get bird flu. Remember bird flu? Y'all ain't get none of that shit.
I was sick.
I had the bird flu.
That's from Cedric's
Have you ever
stand-up.
seen Cedric the Entertainer stand-up called Taking You Higher?
I might not have seen a special of that.
Yeah,
one.
you gotta see.
It's like,
add it to the list.
Yeah, we love it.
Even though Cedric,
we've seen it so many.
he really earns his entertainer name in that.
Yeah,
one.
he does because he like performs
good.
and everything.
He like dances.
Guys, it's Black History Month.
And
We're celebrating Black History Month all month because, of course, why not? We actually like Black History Month is all year. Like, we just celebrate.
Black
Last week
history, life.
Like yes. I've been saying year because like even when it's the next year, I always say year. But life is true too. I like that more. It's Black History Life because at the end of the day, like Black history is part of history. Period.
It is. Yeah, you can't
and it's history.
like something can't not be historic anymore just because it happened more than once. You know, when it happened, and that's a big deal.
So we've been honoring people. Like Hav has somebody that he honors each week, and then I have somebody that I honor. You may or may not be ready to honor somebody, but I want to give you the opportunity to honor somebody.
For Black History Month. Shit. Hold on. I gotta think of somebody who needs to get their flowers. That's a black, that's a black star.
You know what? That's like the important thing, right? Like, even though I did Denzel last week, I also thought about it like that. Like, like someone that deserves the flower. Not saying that. I mean, Denzel's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But like, kind of like that. But Claudia, do you have someone on top of mind?
I do. The person that I thought of was Whitney Houston, and because her the anniversary of her death just passed, and she's just somebody that I just all the time, like I think about her, and that's
like her spirit animal.
Yeah, like I love her. Like I love Whitney Houston, and she's like everything that she embodies, and like everything that she went through, and the music that she just came out with, like to me is just so beautiful. But like of course she's like a celebrity that gets her flowers. But I do want to honor one of my friends that I went to high school with, which her name is Jaleesa Hall, and I just want to say, yes, I want to honor her because. She's just been doing so many great things, like since we graduate, like actually at our graduation in high school, and like just she was the captain of the dance team that I was a part of.
She did a speech too at the
graduation. She did it. That's what I'm saying. She did a speech at our graduation, and she's she's in the process of becoming ordained. So I'm just like, I'm just super proud of her. And she's like somebody that I feel like whenever I have an opportunity to like give her flowers, like whether it be on, like I've done it publicly for her, like, or she had a birthday party and I did it. And she's just like somebody that I have to honor. So Jaleesa Hall, girl, You are
Thank you,
the
Jaleesa,
yes, thank
for
you so
everything you've
much.
done.
You are an angel on this earth, and you deserve all the praise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I can give two. The first one I would say is James Baldwin. I'll give a historical
Great
nod
writer, yeah.
to James Baldwin because he was having a conversation with white people in the 60s from a perspective, the best way I can put it, like he was talking to them as a black person in the 1400s and in like the year 2021. Like he was talking to white America on this continuum, like understanding how much the race issue was embedded in the fabric of America beyond what Americans understood. And he wasn't like, he didn't live a lot of his life here at some point because of how much he could see.
Yeah.
Like he went to France because he was like, this place is crazy.
Yeah.
You know how fucking
they
racist
tripping
you
over
gotta
there.
be to go to Europe? to leave America to go to Europe
Yeah.
because you get a better shot over there of getting treated like a person.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
shout out to him. The other,
Yeah, shout out to
the
James
other
Baldwin.
person I want to give my flowers to is whoever's like the first black strip club owner in a white state. Like whoever like did that shit, that's hard.
That's a great honor.
Yeah, that's hard, bro.
Like you did that.
Ain't
You
nobody
did
got
that.
time for that.
100%.
You did that. What about you, Hav?
I was gonna say because I wanted to actually mention this because I just remember, bro. I remember like I was about like I think no, it was 6th grade, right? And you know I'm fucking young, right? So then we had to do like a basically like a report, and this is who I got. And basically it was a signed report, and it was Jesse Owens. And it always just stuck with me. I don't really remember, like, I ain't going to look cap or anything like that, but like about the story. But I remember just always remembering that 6th grade report. Like I took it super serious. I had like a phenomenal cover page. Like I kind of nerded out about this report because I kind of like fell in love with like his story a little bit about it. So so just shout out to that, like how we kind of been doing with the with one that I think deserves flowers, and we just got to recognize. Another one that I would say, man, is Pharrell Williams. I mean, God, just because to me, like the impact and influence that he did in my life, and like just in so many ways of like what the definition of cool is, and still redefining that, like. I don't know, like to me,
Every chance he gets, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When that vampire finally looks old and gray in a camera, and we
That
all
too.
have our opportunity to look at him and be like, "Wow, Pharrell, you really gave us some classics. Thank you."
For real.
We're
And
gonna
just-
realize it.
his production, we were talking about Jermaine Dupri earlier, and just like, I love, the shit that he did with JT, down to the shit that he did with the Clips, and that was around the same time. Like,
Yeah.
what other fucking producer who was working with, Pusha T and Malice, and then, made fucking I'm a Slave for You.
Yeah, it makes pop hits, rap hits, rock.
Yeah.
Whatever you
Yeah,
need.
whatever, yeah. And then
Like-
has my, yeah, so
It's
he's
just like, just look at everything. Like, this is all I've made.
just
Yeah.
and read, like, there's no lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's art is art, and what's trash is trash. Like, there's no, if you love music, if you love hip hop, if you love rap, R&B, whatever, you just love music. Like, just stop saying you love one genre, because you love all music. You just got to find your certain parts.
It's just a sound thing. Finding
Yeah.
that sound that works in your ear.
Yeah. I want to point something out because Hav said something that kind of stood out to me about like his 6th grade like Black History Month, because that's what it was.
Okay.
It was a
Oh,
Black
I
History
mean,
Month project that
I was
he
so
you know
naive
what I mean?
then.
Like,
I was just like,
Yeah.
oh.
that's what I'm saying, because for me, one of the projects that impacted me and like just stuck with me forever was I had to do a report on like a read and like even dress like her for Zoronia Hurston.
Okay.
So for me, that's somebody that I always look at like that, like how he's saying. I read her books because in 6th grade I did a project for that, and it's so insane how the American school system makes February such an important month, and then when you become older, it's just like there's like so much more history that you guys, number one, didn't teach us, and number two, it shouldn't have been just 1 month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I shouldn't have just learned about these people on this month. Like it should have been something that we were learning. And I didn't learn more like about poets and stuff like that until I got into like sophomore of high school year. So
And shout out to Spitz, but like me and Spitz were talking, we were just kicking the shit, smoking some shit, and like man, we were talking about how like bruh, Egypt is in Africa, and it was just like, kind of like how they almost like hide that information, or like they kind of don't.
There's a disconnect when you think of Egypt as like a main staple of Africa, the continent.
Right. So like if we're saying that black people came from Africa and it's Black History Month, so
why isn't what's going on with Egypt?
So where I don't, but I'm not gonna say
that's
that.
for a whole nother podcast.
Yeah. That's for that. That's
I wanted to ask because.
But it was crazy how he mentioned that to me too, and I was just like, bro, this is like, what the hell?
Yeah, he's right. How was it telling your parents that you wanted to become a comedian?
Oh my God. Why? That was what I got a lot of. Like there was a lot of like, so you're a clown? Where
are you from?
Was your mom like?
My parents are Haitian, so
I heard the.
But you're not.
She heard the
yeah.
in my voice. What did I say? Yeah.
Claudia's Haitian too, by the way.
I'm part of Haitian Twitter.
Like, okay.
In
appreciate it.
No, yeah, in the draft.
He said appreciate it.
In the draft that happened, last year,
she's drafted.
Yeah. They drafted her in there.
It's a good pickup. Good pickup.
Thanks.
You're
not mad at it?
Nah. Teach you how to make grill. There's a lot that you get.
I would love to learn how to make that. I caught what you said.
Yeah,
I would love to learn how to make that.
That's how official she is, because I was just like, damn, what if he tried her and I don't even know?
Nah.
No, he said that he would teach me how to make grill.
Yeah,
grill's good as fuck.
Yeah, the more you get it, you're like, all right. Y'all can hang out, Pierre. We can hang out whenever you want. But the thing about like telling your parents that you want to pursue something in the creative space, who are immigrants who did everything in their power to come to America so that you didn't have to create your own job. And then you tell them that's all you want to do. It's rough, but the thing I had working for me was the fact that my parents watched me try everything else. So they watched me go to school, and they watched me
how long you did the school thing?
Same.
I did the school thing for the school run. I went to fucking a community college for 2 years, and I went to a 4-year university, and I was
you didn't just try.
Yeah, like
you graduated.
When he meant the thing, he said the thing.
My story is very different.
I changed majors. I came into school. That's the thing. Like I wasn't really sure what I was gonna do when I was in high school, because I could go in a number of routes. I had good enough grades and all that stuff, and I could go to pretty much any state school for sure, but pretty much I had a good shot at a lot of universities, even out of state. But I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do until I got to about my senior year of high school, where I joined my school's course.
Hold on, let me find out you sing.
Yeah, no, there's a video.
There's a video! Somebody. Anybody. Find the video.
Pull it up.
But I was basically discovered somewhat because my friend was already in the chorus, and then he told me, he's like, you gotta join the chorus because the chorus is really good. And I was like, well, this ain't High School Musical, Nick. And he was like, nah, they're really good, and it's really cool to be in it. You gotta join it. So I went.
Are you good? Would you like more?
I'll take a little bit, but yeah. But I went, I auditioned. And then from that year, the school was really good, mind you. But I got in there, and then I won the state competition in solo vocalist for men. And then we won the state competition as a group. And so I was nominated for this award that they have in the county. It's like a Pathfinder or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. I was nominated for that, and I was like, oh, so I guess music school, because I was a senior. I didn't give a
this
shit.
Is working for me.
Yeah, this is all right. And he was like, yes, music school. So I went, and I went to the school thing, and like I said, I did do I went to Palm Beach State. I started over there, and they had a music program, and there I won a state competition for collegiate people in the state of Florida for male vocal performance. And I was like, I guess I'm really good. But then I was taking courses. I went to FAU.
But then Let It Burn came out.
It's one of those things where I went to FAU. I'm living with some chick, and we're trying to live, whatever. And the thing
we're trying to live.
Yeah, I'm on scholarships. And the thing about being a scholarship singer is it's like being a scholarship athlete with even less money. In that there's like a lot of shit for you to do outside of your schoolwork. You still gotta be in like 2-3 ensemble groups. You got practices after class. You got all this.
Yeah,
type
you
of shit.
basically like you're just practice.
Yeah, it's just practice. It's just music theories and all this stuff in groups. So I was doing all that, and I couldn't even work. And I was like, I can't afford to not work. So I had to get up out the major because it was either that or we was gonna end up on the street because she was hoofing it for a while. But I was like, I don't think she's gonna survive with me not making no money.
He said, I don't think she's gonna survive.
Yeah, it's like
y'all
it's
not
like,
gonna survive.
It's like riding a hoopty and that shit's shaking.
Yeah.
And you're like, I
That
don't know.
that shit shaking and you just down the block. It ain't even
Yeah,
on the highway.
I was like, this
You
thing
just
is
cranked
on.
that hoe.
This needle is on H, and I got half a gallon of water left.
Ooh, I'm nervous.
I gotta go.
Nervous.
But I changed, got a job, and then I got good at the job, and I learned a lot along the way. Changed my major in school.
Open the business? Or what-
Yeah,
or that's
the
later?
business came after learning a little bit in the field. What we were doing, we were auto brokers, so we learned how to like.
You said auto brokers?
Yeah, I learned how to do that, and that was the job I had learned, and then I was like, okay, so maybe I can figure out how to like get my piece of the pie that I want to get without having to do all the nonsense of being at this dude's office every day and all this stuff, all this
and fucking all the
infrastructure.
hoes.
Yeah, but then you learn very quickly that when you're the boss, you don't actually get to not be the boss no more. So you're constantly like working and stressed and all this stuff. Because I thought it would be one of those things where because I was good at sales, I'd be good at running it. And I got good at running it at the detriment of being happy because it took that extra something out of me because this is not something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
The one thing, that constant thing I'd always wanted to do was be involved in comedy of some sort.
Okay.
Whether it was, I thought it would be writing TV shows like Family Guy or The Simpsons or something. I love stand up. I watched stand up since I was a kid. I've been a stand up lifer, but I didn't know like I could do stand up. I was just like, nah, that's a different type of person. That's somebody who's willing to yell in a room. I'm not willing to yell in no room. So I was like always a fan of getting into
They
comedy.
do be
but
yelling in stand up sometimes.
it's a type of personality.
Yeah.
Like, are you ready for everyone to turn? Because it takes someone who's willing to say, "Can I get everybody's attention?" and being ready to do something once he has it. He or she has it. Because a lot of times people just want attention, but they don't actually know what to do with attention.
Right.
I have to point something out. For me, I'm very big on voices. So something that caught my attention when you came on stage was your voice. That you were able to,
Yeah, he wasn't even like projecting without the
yeah,
microphone.
he was even projecting without it seeming like you were yelling. Because I'm not saying that there was people
that's
that
the audio vocal
yeah,
fucking.
I'm not saying that people were yelling in the show or something like that, but it's just a part of it. Like I mentioned, there's comedians that yell during their stand-ups, and that's just, part of what it is. But to me, like, I'm very big on voices, like I said, so that was something that I did notice. And then right now, when you said that, like, the demanding your attention, like, you said that in a tone that if we were to be in a full room right now, they would have
your
like, you
attention.
would have their attention based off, like, just how you said that. So that's
I appreciate
super
it.
important. Yeah, no, of course. I have to point that out because, like I said, I love voices.
Because like it's like about the delivery and sometimes like the pitch.
It's a delivery and it's the way that.
And
the
that's a whole
voice
science.
sounds.
That's a whole type of science, especially like when
Yeah.
you're pitching and
Yeah. I had to take a lot of those like basic. It's almost like a speech course in singing where you have to take diction classes and all these things. So diction. There's a K in it.
I'm dead. I am so dead.
But you learn all these things, so you learn technique and all that. But what ends up happening more than anything else is it's just muscle memory things. Like you start learning how to like project your voice in a protective way. Because the one thing you don't want is to just be some yelling ass fool who is done and hoarse at the end of his shows. And then you got another show.
And it's only been 30 minutes.
Yeah, like in 30 minutes, you got to do another
Yes.
show. Like, because that happens to some people where they're like, okay, everybody have a good night. And you're like, all right,
damn.
drink some water. We got another crowd coming in 15. We're going to need you to do another hour. Like, yeah, all right, you got to learn how to protect your voice and
I agree.
and keep yourself
Any
balanced.
what about the beginning, like when you were trying to struggle through, not struggle through, but kind of like that personality, like, wait, hold on, I'm not fucking Kevin, or I'm not picking on Kevin Hart. I like to pick on him though. But
Not picking on him, but totally picking on him.
But totally, Kevin.
but because how you said it, like yelling in a room, and I feel like his comedy game has a little bit of yelling, and like how kind of you said, like a lot of people love comedy.
That's actually who one of the
And
people
think
that I
that they
thought
know
of.
about
And
comedy,
Richard
so-
Pryor,
Yeah.
because I feel like sometimes, yeah.
So maybe I don't know shit, but that's how I feel about it. So what kind of struggle there, or like kind of like no, or yeah, or like a bad night, or what night you bombed, I guess, or
Oh,
What kind of-
I've had a wild kind of nights. Let me see. Was there a night that I can really think of that made me? Oh, here's some like lame millennial shit I did once. All right. It's been years, so I don't really care no more. I remember I was doing a show, and it was during something called New Faces at the not Miami. No, this was the Hollywood Improv, the one that was in the Hard Rock.
hey,
Back when that was the regular Hard Rock.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's crazy.
I
yeah.
saw Steve-O there out of all
Yeah.
people.
That's crazy. Because this is
I was
like,
with a girl,
because
but-
like, of course you think of now the guitar, but it was the other one. There's
Yeah.
an OG. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Vibes.
So I was doing stand up. I was gonna do stand up there, but they had a very specific rule, which was you had to bring people with you if you wanted to get stage time. And I had some people that were supposed to come, and they were like, "Yo, we're on our way. We promise, we're on our way." But they all were coming in their own group. And what ended up happening is I only had like one or two people that showed up. And the guy that was running the show is a guy I know now, and we're cool or whatever. But I remember he showed up and he was like, "Listen, it's a pretty decent sized list. And I can't put you up at two people, man." And I was like, "No, you gotta let these people come in. They're gonna come in. I promise it'll be fucking it'll be all right." And it was like the only time I've ever, since doing stand up, I've ever been like, please, to anybody about anything.
Yeah.
But
Let
it,
me do my thing.
but it was like my first time, and I was so nervous. But I had waited a really long time within doing stand up.
Yeah.
And when I say it's relative, obviously, but
Yeah.
like I waited a decent amount of time before I approached the improv to do the improv because I worship the improv. I was like, oh, that's where the greats.
Right.
So.
Right.
Oh, my picture on that wall one day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all like goofy
Yes,
shit. That's
yes,
gonna be me.
yes,
That's
Oh,
gonna be
you know,
me.
the wall right there. I didn't want
Yes.
my back to be right next against that wall.
Right there. And I was like, please. And he's like, sorry, can't. So the millennial shit I did was I was driving because I just left. I was embarrassed because my friend was like, because the one who did come with his girl was like, so we sitting here, you going up, right? And I was like, listen, no. You should leave. I'm leaving now.
No.
Actually getting my.
Fuck
I
this goddamn
can't
show.
be here for this. I can't stomach the idea of sitting around and waiting. So I called the group of friends who were supposed to be there, and I was like, "Hey guys, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna go to another show in Boca Raton, one of my old stomping grounds, and I'm gonna go do stand up over there and get my groove back and be okay." And as I was driving,
You dirty whore.
yes.
Yeah.
And as I was driving, the millennial shit I did
He went back to the old work.
exactly.
was videotape myself crying and telling me into the camera, remember this feeling, nigga. Remember this. Be better than this. Be better than anyone telling you you can't do something. Be better. Remember this feeling, nigga. And it's just on tape. And I'm like crying in a hat. And I'm just crying. And
Nothing worse than crying in a hat.
crying in a hat. I'm driving. It's nighttime.
Yeah.
Why am I?
He got the hat on in the nighttime.
low
This is horrible.
hat.
This is so dangerous.
And I remember I finally.
He's here, so we know the outcome.
I lived.
Thank goodness.
I'm a ghost. I got there. I got to the show in Boca, and everyone eventually that was supposed to come to the Hollywood Improv showed up there, and they're like, "What's happening? Is this still all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's fine." I had you would hope I say I had a great set. I had an okay set. It was like a 7 out of 10. But luckily, 7s are still pretty good.
7s are
Sevens
good.
are
as
pretty
fuck.
good.
7s can still be pretty
70%
good.
is a pass.
Well,
It's a C.
It's a C. Listen, at
but
the end
I
of
hear
the
him.
day,
But I hear him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though you made it, you kind of didn't.
I've had some C episodes.
Something about the wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The pull up.
And
Yeah, of course.
because I've done podcasts, a lot of podcasts. I've been on podcasts and all that. It's one of those things where like you get done with a rap and you're like, we can't tape again. I don't know how I feel about this, but it's too late to do anything. Good luck in post. Like that's that's all that. You never had that feeling where you're just passing off the podcast to somebody. Like in episode, you're like, this episode was okay.
I know what happens.
But
is
we
that
gonna post this
I
anyways.
don't I'll post it like on because no matter what the episode is getting dropped. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It has
but
to
like
get dropped.
some like sometimes like it just might not get promoted as much.
It might not get the love.
Yo, we only putting $10 on this ad, so go ahead and
Yeah. No.
Like,
For the
yeah,
week.
it
Not,
just-
not,
For the week.
not
do-
today.
we doing
Like-
$2 a
Yeah,
day.
it just might.
Monday through Friday.
It just might not be the same. And so, yeah, and it's because, of course, like when you do something for so long, of course, you're going to have those things. And it's great that you shared what you kind of like did to kind of get you out of that funk. Because for somebody to have gone through that and then to just even go on stage to something else, like that takes a lot of like, this is what I want to do. And that's something that's very admirable.
Yeah, I remember. Well, I want to share like kind of like what he said, like, and it just made me remind like when was the time that I had to beg, or not like that, because I mean I'll still beg now. I'm a whore, but but
No,
like
you're not.
but like I was remember King of Diamonds. We
stayed.
King of Diamonds.
It was classic open night,
This-
right?
this is a
Open
great
mic,
story,
right?
yeah.
And like we're there on the list, we're waiting, we're seeing some phenomenal, phenomenal pieces of work, and
And
these.
he's not talking about the artists that were performing.
Oh, the dancers?
No.
Yeah.
No.
He said that.
No, Kanye. Those are artists too.
You right?
Dimes. The arts.
So like just kind of like that, and like by the end of the like it's like around like 2-3 o'clock, we're like, yo, when the fuck we go on? And then it was kind of basically like, yo, come on, like we've been here, we've been going on, we've been here, like just let us do this song. So we got to do the song, like type shit, and like I guess there was
But it was late.
it was
Like,
super late.
He's saying 2:00, but that was when we were like realizing that
We ain't about to perform.
we ain't about to perform at 2:00 because there was like a time where like people had just started performing.
We got 20 more performers.
When the DJ hits you with that. And for us, it was like, for me, it was my first time in King of Diamonds, so I didn't care. I was just like, we
Yeah.
can be here. We got time. Listen, this is my first time here. We go see some ass shake. Like, what's really good? You know what I mean? So I was excited. At the end of the night, we end up seeing, like, he ends up performing, but it's late. So it's kind of, it wasn't begging, but like how he's saying.
Well, we kind of had to be like we had to, be in a little bit of like, yo, come on.
You had
like,
to
with the
push a
DJ,
little bit.
A little bit of a push, and kind of like, yo, and kind of take that stand, right? Because there was other people, like that folded. That was just like, nah, I'm not going to, like, fuck that. I'm not even going to try to ask to perform. I'm just going to leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
That's a difference maker.
that's a different maker and whatever the fuck, but also like a little bit like it was a little bit rewarding because we met Treese.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
So we end up by basically like performing for the strippers and the security.
Yeah, there was nobody there.
Which, first of all, I'd rather have the stripper sit down and listen to my music rather than like pretending to fake shake her ass. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather.
She could actually listen.
Yeah.
Well, not like that. Like, oh, she's actually gonna listen to a bar and be like, "Oh my god, did you hear that metaphor?" No. But like, at least like
If you're shit, but that's the thing about strippers. Like, strippers basically control the music for the summer.
facts.
Like,
year
whatever
round.
whatever they want to dance to is what's hot.
Right.
We've had a DJ. Shout out to the DJ Killer K.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
He's a DJ at Playhouse in Lauderdale or something like that, and he always says how like the strip club, like it may be like a popular song for like everybody else, but the strip club thing, like that's a whole nother like level of like there's songs there that you possibly don't listen to that are popular at the strip club because of the people that go there and because the dancers like to listen to that, like they like to listen to the ass shake, like something that's gonna make their ass shake. So like what Hav is saying is important because they are the ones who kind of control, like how you said, the summer, the what song is hot. Because if girls are shaking their ass, like,
yeah, that's
they
the
might
most
not be
popular
listening
thing.
to what you're saying, but they are listening.
Dude, they get into free in bars because girls shake their ass. It's like it's
Right.
Yeah.
There's no
And then
competition there.
if she could vibe when she isn't supposed to shake her
Yeah.
ass, since
Then it's
like
different.
money's being thrown, like, you know, it can't be like, this song isn't that great, I'm gonna stop
Yeah.
dancing, like, you know, like, but
yeah,
like,
that's a problem.
so like if she gets to do this, you know, like a little shoulder shrug to the song, is like, that's way more rewarding than like any fake type of ass clap. I
Yeah,
think.
and it was cool because like how Hav pointed
But I'll take
out,
the genuine over the fake all day.
definitely.
Your homies is playing for pussy, by the way.
we met Treese, which he's a singer.
yeah.
We met Treese there at King of Diamonds, and he worked at King of Diamonds. And it was funny because he was there on shift and literally performed before he did. So he was another person who, even though he worked there, had to wait to perform as well.
Yeah.
So he ends up
That was
performing.
his lunch break.
Yeah. No, it was the end of the night, bruh. There was like there was nobody. It was literally just like we was
a
watching
cigarette break.
motherfuckers clean.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, but it was commitment. It was just like, cause I'm the type of person. It's just like whatever y'all want. If y'all want to stay here and y'all are gonna talk to the DJ and make sure that you guys perform, I'm all for it. Like, because I want to see it. And this is, at the end of the day, this is just part of the journey.
Yeah.
And it's like right now we're telling the story, you know.
Yeah, and not to hype it up too, but like a homie there, when I got to the stage, he was like, "Yo, you Hob, I follow you on IG." I was just like, "Yo, I didn't even know," you know, like
Nice,
kind of gave me
nice.
one of those moments, and it was just like, "Oh, okay, keep on going." my bad.
Sorry, no, it's so good. And so we end up, because of Trees, going to King of Diamonds to shoot, because he's shooting a music video there. So we got to experience it like as King of Diamonds, but then we also got to experience it as a video shoot, like location type of thing. So that was pretty dope.
That was super dope. Shout
Yeah.
out to Trees. We need you back on the podcast, man. Come on, man.
Nice.
Yeah. So I know that so Valentine's Day is actually coming up. I know you're in a
Yes.
relationship.
Yeah.
How
You've
is
been in a
Valentine's
relationship.
Day for you at being in a relationship? Shout out to everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. We love you here at the Ambition Hour podcast. You are not alone. If you want, save the episode till Sunday.
There you go. Listen and watch together.
Yes.
Valentine's Day is one of those things where I had to learn, like, it's super important to be on the same wavelength as your partner for Valentine's Day, because you don't want to be someone who loves Valentine's Day and you with someone who doesn't give a shit about Valentine's Day, and the opposite. You don't want to be someone who doesn't give a fuck and all of a sudden you got somebody who's like, what we doing? If we don't do nothing, this is over. So
That's a red flag.
yeah, you don't, because some people can match that energy. You just want to make sure you match. But I'm currently in this situation that I am absolutely in love with, which is she goes, I don't give a fuck, and I'm like, perfect. That means whatever I do is great. So it's not that I don't want to do things, because I've definitely done things. It's just that now when I don't have pressure on me is when I'm more likely to pick something fun to do, that we actually have fun. I can have a good time because I'm not thinking about all the stress that goes into this intricate plan. Because sometimes men can get so overwhelmed with how much they love their girl, they try to do a lot and then they don't have fun because they're doing too much.
And they're just so stressed.
And they're just so stressed, and she's looking kind of bored, and he getting more pissed.
Yeah,
because this is expensive. This is taking his time, and it's taking a lot of planning, and he doesn't realize that his energy is kind of lowering her energy.
And he put it all on credit, by the way, too.
Yeah, and he put it all on his Capital One.
Not the Capital One.
Yeah.
What's in your wallet?
Some silver Capital One card that Samuel L. sold him, and now he's under pressure.
It was Jennifer.
That
for
card
me.
helped me with my credit, so we ain't going not Capital One. Not Capital One.
I feel you.
But he's so right, because half the time I probably guessed. Half the time I got it right, I probably guessed type shit, right, Claudia?
So okay, so with you, you have somebody who isn't like, we have to do something for Valentine's Day.
No,
So what has been the like biggest thing that you have done that you would say like I was wildin'?
Don't Don't say it, bro. Don't say it.
Don't
She
say
might be
it.
No,
listening.
because
She might be listening,
you got to
bro.
be
She
smart
might
about
be
how you go
listening.
about it. Because if you say that you did a really amount, like a big amount, and you didn't do that for the person you with, they're gonna be like, "Wow, so this is what you're capable of, but won't do." So.
But he was stressed. Do you want a stressed man, lady?
Yeah,
You don't want a man who's stressed.
For Valentine's Day, I'll say that I flew someone down. We stayed.
Flued out airlines.
Yeah, flew out airlines.
He Kodak her?
They only have center aisle seats. No windows.
No
No
windows.
aisle. No windows. No aisles. Just center seats. But we came down here. We went to some restaurants. We went all over the place. We stayed in this really nice hotel. And I would say that would probably be the craziest thing I did for Valentine's Day because of how much it cost.
Yeah.
It was.
You was
Because
wildin' on that?
honestly, none of that is like out of the ordinary. Not okay. Obviously, paying for somebody's flight is definitely out of the ordinary. But I mean, it's not something like I was like, oh wow. Because to me, like, excuse my language, but that to me just sounds like a weekend of fucking.
A weekend of like
I was
that's
going-
the thing.
Claudia, I was ready to fix him and ask him, was the ROI
Well,
on that pussy good?
Here's what makes
Look
a
at the
weekend.
camera, don't answer.
Here's what makes a weekend of fucking fun is doing something else too.
Yeah.
Because if it's just laying in the bed and fucking, she's gonna look at you and say, "I'm hungry." Like it's gonna
No,
happen.
because listen, when I say bitches, is because I don't know y'all, but bitches love to eat. We love to eat.
Yes,
Like-
yes. Trust me, I have learned that lesson
Like we
in a powerful
love
way.
to eat. Like I don't care what no girl says. Like we love to eat. Like for me, and I've seen this on Twitter, and it's something that has caused a ruckus sometimes on the timeline. Is like if there's no food involved, it's not considered a date. And so
Yeah, if there's not refreshments
he
specifically.
said refresh.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of like, because a woman will say you guys went on a date if you bought her a coffee and a scone or something. Like, there's got to be refreshments at some point. You can't just go to the park, stand around, be hot, and then kiss goodbye. That's not a date. She was like, this nigga just made me go outside. I don't know what
And
that
I'm
was.
sweating.
Yeah, I'm out here in fucking heels. I didn't know what we was doing. We chilled in his car. He smoked a blunt.
Ladies,
There's
you deserve better.
a lot of people that do that. You know how many
You know-
people?
No, she don't.
He said no, she don't. Hav, come on, man.
I thought my mic was on mute.
You
I thought I was on mute.
You was on mute. You thought you was on mute. But yeah, so happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Listen.
All that.
I've been single for a very long time, so Valentine's Day has just been a holiday that I just either absolutely don't care about, or it's a holiday that I'm just like, I love you to the people that I love, which I do all the time anyway, so it's not like out of the ordinary. But I remember like when I was in a relationship, like I was obviously younger, so I would always put like some type of importance into it, and then once I became single and felt like completely in love with myself, it's just like, bro, like that shit don't really, like, it doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're not making Valentine's Day your actual relationship Super Bowl. Like, if it's, as long as you're not
That is a
boiling
great-
the whole year to that day,
that is a great
then it's
analogy.
not a bad holiday.
And it's in the same month.
Yeah.
Who were you going for in the Super Bowl?
Oh my God, I was pulling for Pat. I was pulling for Pat.
I was
Mahomes.
too.
I was like, come
Give me a
on.
high five.
Yeah.
Actually, a pound, because, you know,
COVID.
COVID.
That's what people need to say before they fist bump. COVID.
It's like the shot Kobe.
Yeah.
My dad does that shit. Like,
Nice.
he'll say, what's up to you? But he'll be like,
Hey, gotta
you
play it
never
safe."
know.
In your
Hey, you never know.
shared space.
You never know. But so you were going for the Chiefs. I was as
going
well.
for the Chiefs.
How was calling me all types of crazy last week. And
just because we're from the Bay,
Yeah,
and we
we're
go
yeah.
for the Oakland Raiders, their rival. So like, obviously, it's like,
It hurts.
well, yeah, and it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
the
explain my
Chiefs-
sister to understand that. You know what I mean? Like, she's just like, I just want Pat Mahomes to win because Tom Brady is like, get away.
Yeah, like to me.
Go away,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. To me,
Go to bed.
To me, it's more of I saw the way that the Chiefs played last year in the Super Bowl. I'm not a big football fan, but I always watch the Super Bowl because it's a tradition that I just have with my dad and my brother.
Yeah.
Like I always watch the playoffs with them, the championship. I love sports because of them. So I watched it with them. So last year when I saw the Super Bowl and I saw how they played and I see that they kind of had the same team, more or less, at least they had the same, quarterback.
Yeah. A lot of the same players.
A lot of the same players. So I was just like, dang, I feel like they can do it again. But like how, Tom Brady is just Tom Brady.
Yeah. He's done this thing now where, like, obviously the 7 Super Bowls is already like, that's already insane. Yeah. But he's doing this thing
honestly,
that like,
shout out to him for that though, because he's the first
he's got
person
the most
in
out
football.
of any. He's got more Super Bowls than teams have Super Bowls.
Yeah.
That's he broke that record.
Somebody's Christian, shout out to Christian. He
Shout
actually said that he has more Super Bowls than the Bucks and the Chiefs combined.
Yeah,
like those
they
teams
each have,
individually.
Chiefs have 2, Bucks have 1.
Oh, so you like football?
Yeah, yeah, because like
I think it's 2. I think the Chiefs have 2.
No one was gonna fact check him. He could have said 5 and 80, and I would have been like, yeah. Definitely.
When he was about to break it down, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Definitely.
Like, won a Super Bowl?
Wow, that means that Tom Brady's won like 90. No, but I know better than to know that. So
yeah,
yes.
I appreciate you knowing better than that. But no, he's done something remarkable in sports. That's why they're having these conversations now, because there's kind of no point to having like a who's the best football player conversation as long as he's doing the shit he's doing. So now they're like, who's the best athlete? And I'm like, all right, y'all getting
You see what SportsCenter has to do?
No, it's funny because Robert Horry, I guess, chimed in and was like, "Oh, welcome to the 7 Club" or something like that. And so people were clowning him because like Robert Horry, and it's just like, no, but Robert Horry got y'all not gonna listen. What y'all not gonna do is disrespect Robert Horry and that shot that he got.
That same A+ in that group project as everybody else. And Robert Horry's like, welcome to the A+ club. You're like, all right, Robert Horry.
But
Mr. Changing the slides.
So I'm not a big football fan, but basketball is very different.
Okay, I'm ready.
So somebody that I listen to, because I listen to the 85 South show a lot.
Okay, cool.
And
cool.
I love it. And something that I was actually going to point out when you were talking about earlier, because they do live shows, and their live shows are like almost an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And they're dying laughing, like, because it's a roast session.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen them. Cause
Miami Improv. They had a host. They needed a host for them.
Oh, and okay.
Well, not Miami, Palm Beach.
Nice. I really enjoy what they do, and it's not so much because it's funny. It's more because of I see the vision of what they have for their show, and I see how they run their podcast, the media. They have another podcast that just joined their media company, and I've also because since I've become such a fan of theirs, I see behind the scenes of kind of their live shows and what the media aspect of it does, the behind the scenes of this, you know what I mean, how this would grow. So that's something that I admire of them as well. But going back to I was talking about see, this is what I be getting so excited about certain shit, like the drinking.
85 South basketball.
okay. Basketball. They had
the Atlanta Hawks.
That helped me. Iman Shumpert was on their podcast.
Okay.
And I listened to him, and something that he said, because people can say what they want about Iman Shumpert, and they can say maybe he's not the best player or has the best record, because if you look at his rebounds or shooting threes and all that, his percentage isn't the best. But something that he says is listen, at the end of the day, I'm a champion.
Oh, that Cleveland wing.
Yeah. So to him, exactly. So to him, that's something that's important. So you can say Robert,
it helps in the legacy talk, in the what have you done.
But also I feel if you played part in that win happening, if you were part of that team, because there's some players who bro, they wasn't even in warm-up gear.
Juwan Howard. Shout out to Juwan Howard.
Not Juwan Howard.
Shout out to Juwan Howard. Coach Howard.
Coach Howard.
That nigga was coach when he was on the team. He was Coach Howard.
Already, yeah. 3 years before he became a...
That's funny. But
He was the most important player on that goddamn championship team. Without him, I do not know how we would have won that
We wouldn't have made it.
We wouldn't have the answers when we needed it. Right?
Everybody looked to Juwan Howard for answers when we was down.
Ran to Juwan Howard on that last game, on that timeout, to go for that last run to secure the win.
Absolutely. People don't realize this. When LeBron had his hands on his knees during Game 6 against Boston, he had that devilish stare. He was staring at Juwan Howard, who was actually looking back at him in the same way.
Yeah, before Ray Allen pulled up, he looked at Juwan Howard.
Juwan said good before he shot it.
It's good.
Because I think Ray Allen recently did an interview.
Yeah.
And he mentioned how.
Thank you for mentioning Juwan Howard.
Yeah,
oh
for
God.
real. Because
this is not my favorite episode.
For some reason, he is just a funny person to mention.
Yeah, there's certain names in sports where you just say them and everyone just starts laughing. Like, why are we talking about this guy?
Yeah, no, because there's been some other times where I've laughed at certain things because of him.
Yeah.
So Jesus Christ. What I was gonna say is Ray Allen was doing an interview and mentioned how I guess LeBron hits him up and is like, oh, thank you so much for that 3 you hit or something like that. And so someone was like, Chris Bosh is at home punching the air.
Where the fuck is my call? I honestly think he gives Chris Bosh love. Kevin Love don't get no. Actually, they did that handshake this year, I guess. But
Chris Bosh, I'm glad it seemed a little quick when they retired his number and put him in the Heat Hall of Fame, because it was he was done for 4 hours. He had been done for 4 hours, and they're put him in the hall. And I was like,
put him in the hall.
His number's going up next game tomorrow night.
Ring of honor immediately. And then, but when you think about what he did, because I didn't respect. I was following basketball, but I didn't respect what he was doing in Toronto.
Right.
That's really fucking hard to just be the best player on your team. The guy who's good enough to get his team to a playoff on any given year, make the All-Star, and then look yourself in the mirror and say, fuck you. And then go to the Miami Heat and be number 3.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
that takes guts.
At the end of the day, it's a team sport, and something that I love that we're talking about this right now. Something that I do want to say about Miami when we had the 3 of these players is that it was the 3. It wasn't of course we all knew who was superior, second. Yeah,
it was the Powerpuff
yeah,
Girls. You knew who the fuck Blossom was.
You knew that it wasn't one without the other. And so I think that that's something that's important to point out. And then so for people to make that joke is almost valid, because it's just he played a really big part because it was the big 3.
Yeah, you needed everybody basically on that team except for maybe Joel Anthony. You needed everybody on that team. That's deep in the baseball cousin or basketball cousin. Y'all know who Joel Anthony is.
Yeah, if you know who Joel Anthony is and you're listening, comment below.
Yeah, but everybody else, you needed them 100% on that team.
Definitely. Dang, good times. I went to both parades.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great. Nice. I didn't go to the 2006 because we were in California.
Yeah,
when it was with Wade and Shaq.
Oh yeah, see that makes sense. Yeah. You in California, so y'all
No, we actually.
You were Heat
we
fans?
were living here.
Yeah, we're really living here,
okay.
and then we were there for that summer.
That summer.
Well, yeah, basically, at the beginning. Cause
were you guys Warriors fans at the time? Or?
Well, we've been Warriors fans.
We're Warriors fans all the time.
So yeah.
Especially because that's got to be tough to be a Warriors, a lifelonger. You guys are from the Bay, but you move down here. This team gets really fucking good out of nowhere.
No. When we moved here, they were not good. They were giving tickets for free at school.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but I'm saying but by the time the big 3 came together, all of a sudden this team in 2009 to 2010, it went to being...
Oh, yeah, okay.
In 2010, they became this... the biggest team
in
the
it was
world. And then, when their dynasty ends, here's this group of light-skinned kids in the Bay... back home shooting threes from the parking lot, and you're like, yo, who are these guys?
We were having that was a great time in basketball.
You know what? It was I traded my stock too early. I was like, damn it.
Yeah,
Why did I
because
cash in
like
on
how
the
you said,
pick?
we had the Heat who had like a reign, because if they weren't winning the championship, they were playing in it.
Yeah, 4 years
Yeah,
straight.
4 years straight, and then right after was Golden State. So we were like in
for 5.
we were like in championship heaven for those
Yeah,
times.
we're like, okay, great. Like,
And
it
it's-
seemed like a bandwagon, but like, you know, it's kind of like, hello, I was like living in Miami. Why the fuck am I gonna be like, fuck Miami?
Yeah, I
You know what
couldn't.
mean?
I
Like,
cannot.
go for Miami.
I cannot be that person because
Yeah.
it's just like it's not where you at. It's where you're
from.
like where you're from and
I
where
get
you
that,
like.
but I'm still close to home.
Yeah.
Bro. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
letting go of that.
And then we also, our dad is a Laker fan.
Oh, that's
So
a
that's
whole
like
other
a whole
thing.
nother thing.
Now he's
So-
trying to tell y'all how great the team is.
So we went from
Kobe
like
fan,
the
not a Laker
Lakers, Kobe, this, and then
That might
a
be
couple
bad.
years later the Heat, and then a couple like because Shaq was a Laker,
Mm-hmm.
so of course we're like, we have a Laker in the building. We're excited, you know. So, yeah, wow, great. I love talking about basketball. That made me
dope.
really excited.
What's that?
Something that's very important to us here on the Ambition Hour podcast is mental health. And I'm sure that mental health and comedy has a lot to do with it, because I'm sure that it's a way of you of like expressing yourself or your pain and stuff, like laugh at my pain type of thing. But what would you
Why,
say is
Claudia?
I just had to.
Why would you?
We were talking about him earlier. It was right there. He let it rock. Damn. You know that's my little brother. But okay, so what is it that for you, like the main thing that you do for your mental health? It doesn't necessarily have to be like, what is it that you do to help you continue to be ambitious, consistent, all of those things?
On a consistent level now, the thing that's been keeping me on somewhat of a path has just been reflecting on the life I lived before I decided to get into stand-up, and then it like basically changed my life around, and then when I didn't, because like my girlfriend knows this date, and a couple people do as well. The long and short of it is July 1st, 2015 is the only day in my life that I don't know about, because I was in a hospital.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the reason I was in the hospital is because, did I try to kill myself? We're not sure. I took a lot of shit. Like I took a lot of shit that day. A lot of different controlled substances and alcohol and all this stuff. And I got put into a treatment center, but that was after they made sure I lived through that through that period. So I was in the hospital for 3 days, 2 to 3 days. One of them, like I said, July 1st, that day was out. I was gone to the world. I was not conscious at all. And then the next day, July 2nd, I woke up in the hospital basically, and I found out that I would be going to a mental health facility because I was Baker acted. So for those who don't know, that's when the state basically says, he's too crazy, we can't let him out, he's going to hurt himself. So they lock you down for at least 3 days and make you talk to a therapist to figure out where you're at.
Wow.
And I remember this is July 4th weekend coming up. So it's July 3rd. I'm in a mental facility. July 4th, I was supposed to see somebody to speak with them, the medical professional. And I was lucky because I got brought in on a Thursday. I technically wasn't supposed to leave until like at least Monday, because they usually just keep you over the weekend if you end up in that position. But for one reason or the other, the doctor was there and they were able to see me, and I was totally in a bad place, but I didn't want to be there anymore. So I told that dude I was fine, and I told him I was like, I'm 100%, and I could tell that like I was in a position, I was in a privileged position as someone who can speak coherently. That's it. And I call that a privileged position, because there are people who are going through stuff, and if they could communicate to you how they feel, you would have a better chance of understanding them, and maybe you'd be a little more empathetic to what they're going through. The fact that I can speak clearly and get my point across
The gift of gab.
got me out of that facility faster than someone's like, whatever, let them hang back there. I don't know. We'll see you on Tuesday or Monday. But I got out.
Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. But I got out, and then I was just home, and I remember I just sat at the floor of my fucking shower, and I just cried. And and I was like, I should do things that make me happy because this was a bad experience. Because, like, there's something different about what you think is falling asleep and then waking up with tubes in your hands and your arms. And you're hooked up to machines, and you have a catheter in, and you have all this stuff going on.
Because they ain't even letting you use the bathroom on your own.
No, I wasn't allowed to have a spork for my applesauce. They're like, here's the applesauce. I was like, can I get a spoon? Can I get something? They're like, nah, you might kill yourself with it. So here, use your face. And I was like, okay, great.
Wow.
But that was, thinking about those moments is the thing that gave me the wherewithal to know that I have to have something in place, a structure in place. So that's when I started doing little things. I started working out a little bit, eating a little bit better, doing all these things. So now I'm on a somewhat more regimented lifestyle, and I know that no one thing can be looked at as my saving grace for mental health. But as long as I have a network and a system, one thing is allowed. 2 things are allowed to fail, and I can keep going. And that was what it taught me, was don't have everything in one place. If you're going to put everything in one place, make that place you, but don't put it in.
Now that's a word.
Everything.
Hold on. That's great.
But yeah. That's
no, definitely. Because, number one, I work in the mental health industry. So to me, mental health is very important. And so, like, hearing what you're saying and you being able to communicate it, and it being 6 years after, and you just knowing, like, I don't ever want to be in this position again. I know that, number one, my life is valuable. I'm valuable. I am in charge, because at the end of the day, like, what you did was be like, no, like, I'm in charge. Like, I'm the one who is in charge of my destiny, who's in charge of how I feel, because working out, eating better, or being mindful, or something that I like to do is journal. Like, all of those things, like, it's like the circle of level 10. Like, it has to be all, like, everything all around. You have to be working on everything all around to make you happy. Because sometimes what happens is that when our mental health isn't in the best state, is because there's something lacking in one of those areas in our life, and we're not recognizing it because we're suppressing it with, it could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be a relationship.
I was gonna say sex.
Fucking punching, it's something. You know, it's always something, and that's something that doesn't get recognized enough. Is that sex and relationship and love is something that people do use to suppress what they genuinely feel. And that's sometimes why relationships become so toxic, is because of that specific reason. We're getting ready to wrap up, I feel. I like to ask Jav if he has any questions for our guest. And I know he's been, obviously,
I've been pretty active this episode.
Yeah, you have.
So,
but if you have any specific ones.
I appreciate it. Really, man, I just want to say thank you, man. One, for, like, just making this, like, a smooth process, though. But also, like, in the sense of, like, this episode is also a testament to, what if you just reach out?
Yeah.
What if I just text this guy who, for all I know, he's the busiest guy in the world, right? I love.
He was swamped.
Right.
We've been asking him for weeks, actually.
Right. Yeah. It took us a while. It took us almost a month to get him, right? So, but, like, just thinking about it and just, like, reaching out, sending that text message, right, and just kind of like, fuck it, what he's gonna say, no? Or what he's gonna not read it, whatever. Like, let's try it. So if you're ever thinking about, if you're having a podcast, or artist wise, you want to work with an artist, or want to see if you could get into that studio, or want to see if you could do that improv, or whatever it is, want to see if you could go to that open house if you're a realtor, whatever, like that, just go and ask. And the worst thing that someone could say is no, and sometimes rejection is hard as fuck. Especially since what we, like, talked about, bouncing off a little bit off the mental health, and rejection is super difficult. I feel like as an artist, you just deal with it constantly, and you just have to be reminded it, and, like,
it's definitely a part of art.
Creative,
and
just being like what you said earlier about staying in your funny. And kind of like stay in your lane, stay in your course, and just keep on going, man. No, I guess the question I would ask you is, we talked about the world and being the fucking best.
Yeah.
You know, so what is that? Where does Hennessy Will go? You know, what is it? Movies? Is it you're writing your own sitcoms? You're writing, you're writing the Powerpuff Girls now. You know, like,
I want to redo the Powerpuff Girls.
I'm down, bro.
Starring
with a little more melanin.
Yeah, an all Dominican, Afro-Dominican cast.
An Afro-Latina cast? I'm dead.
I got you on a voiceover. Just, something there.
Voiced by men. But truthfully, I know that there's an answer after this, but as far as I can go right now, like my focus and my vision right now is if the Hennessy Williams Experience can be a show that travels around to different cities, and what it was and what it is a show I perform with a live band. We have original music.
A sax player?
Yeah.
Yes. I love the saxophone. Sorry.
Yeah.
You went straight to that.
I'm a sucker for sax.
I was like, did you guys talk earlier? What?
No.
I didn't know about a sax.
Yeah, shout out to him.
I'm a sucker for a saxophone.
Yeah,
like,
but it's a sax,
not
bass,
player, just
sound. Just the sound. But the idea is have that show, make it a production. Because
unless he looks good. Sorry.
Oh, God.
Saxophone players, it's like 50-50.
They can either be Kenny G
or some nigga named Fats.
Fags the sax player.
Yeah, some nigga named Fats with fucking slick hair.
Oh no!
Oh,
dang, I imagine Pootie Tang continues.
Yeah. But if the Hennessy Williams Experience can help put food on a few people's tables, I think then whatever else the universe has to offer me, then I'm happy to be there. Because I think the most I can do that I want for myself, anything else is extra, is to be able to put my comedy and my art in a place where people who are passionate about something that my art needs can rely on me to help them live their dreams too. So like if you're a sound guy, right? You give a fuck about sound. Like this is your thing. And all of a sudden you can be a part of the Hennessy Williams Experience and put food on your table. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. If you're amazing. A videographer,
or you
can
like
be a part
lights.
of it. Yeah, you're a lights person. Like it seems like I don't get lights, but somebody really cares about lights out there and would love to pay all their bills just putting up lights and rigging lights. And I would love to put that person in a position that they can pay their bills rigging lights. So
okay.
To me, that's
I
like
love that.
I do that. Everything else is gravy.
Yeah, I'm the same way because that's something that I eventually for the podcast is something that I would want to do. Like somebody who could do the social media aspect, who can do what Hav is doing, like as far as the editing and all that stuff, to where maybe Hav could just be not having to worry about any of that. He could just be the co-host, or even like the social media aspect. And so that's great. I see that for you.
I appreciate you saying it.
Yeah, I see that for you. I genuinely believe that.
It's so funny. My bad, to cut there, but it's so funny because sometimes when you're going for your dream, people think that it's such a selfish act. Mm-hmm. Like right where we're saying like, oh, how could you, or why would you, type of thing. Like they think it's a selfish act when really it's like,
I just want to help so many people.
I know there's someone like me that loves what I love just as much that could help me do what I want to do just as better, or the saxophone player
and pay them.
He knows how to play the saxophone.
But
I can't tell the joke and play the saxophone at the same time.
Can't.
It's not fun to look at.
It's
somebody telling jokes and no. Anyway, and you're like,
yeah, it's very like 96.
No, not. It's just like because jokes has to do with timing, and the timing isn't going to be correct if at the moment that you say the joke, you can't even express how you say the joke because you have to play a note. Right.
Yeah. You have to write your material specifically so that you can do it. But to me, like it's almost like Prince. Like Prince was an amazing instrumental player, right? Like he was an amazing guitarist, but when he played the guitar, it was very purposeful. I'm gonna play my guitar for this song because the song needs me to play the guitar.
Because
he wasn't playing the guitar all
Gemini
his
vibes.
songs
Yeah.
because that ruins the concert for everybody eventually because you don't get to see the other things and the other aspects of his talent. So
it's empowering others.
Yeah.
And if we could do that while doing our dream,
that's a whole nother legacy.
There's motherfuckers that are doing way worse, you know.
Because now you're helping feed other families.
Yep.
Yeah, that's to me that's huge. If you can make your art help
Hennessy
people.
Wills help my dad make money.
Dude, that's cool as shit. If you're
I'm being funny, but it's that to me is like the coolest shit ever. Like that's awesome. So I do want to commend you for that. Did you have another one? Because I wanted to ask him. Do you have a question for me?
Do I have a question for you? Okay. So what has podcasting taught you about marketing?
About marketing?
Yeah.
Wow. That it's hard.
Okay.
One, because every episode is different. Mm-hmm. So every episode could be I'm promoting something different. You know, it could be
or for a different audience.
Or for a different audience. Like this week, the last episode that I spoke about was something about women in hip hop and how it's kind of like they have to do more than what a man would do in hip hop. Mm-hmm. Like they have to be more sexier. Dancing. They have to be a little bit more explicit. They also have to be a little more, like how Hav said, they have to dance more. You know, they have to appeal.
And you still gotta look good. Like some of these things,
like you
big old stomach.
Yeah, and
we can put a white beater on
exactly.
and rap.
And something that I was saying is that because Jay-Z is one of my favorite rappers, if he danced or not, it doesn't matter to me because he was a great artist. So it's just like for women, they have to go up and beyond. The week before, I was talking about Disney stocks. You know, you know, do you see how different it is? And it's just like it's just like, okay, what from an hour-long episode is going to be it. One of the times that I felt, because with marketing, I like to pay attention to the engagement. One time I posted a video and the engagement was crazy, and it was about The Office and how The Office was officially going on to Peacock, and how basically Peacock was just like to Netflix, like they just put the thing on the table and was just like, thank you for getting us fans, for bringing the numbers up. Well, we're going to take this from here now because The Office isn't on Netflix anymore. You know what I mean? So
and not as many people are going to download Peacock. Sorry.
Listen, I miss the Peacock like the next person. I mean, Peacock.
Whoa.
She has been single for a long time.
I almost said what I was going to say it. I almost said it, but you know what? I'm just going to continue.
You missed The Office, Claudia.
I missed The Office, but not enough to download or even pay for Peacock.
Yeah, just for one.
I'm straight.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I downloaded it. I was like, this is stupid. I took it off my Xbox.
Once it's off the Xbox, it ain't going back.
Yeah, that's a hard re-download. It's really hard.
But yeah, so that's basically to me, that's what it's taught me. It's taught me that you just never know, but you have to be consistent with it.
Yeah, keep showing up.
Yeah, because you just never know. Like, and it's funny because with content, I learned so different because I have my own Instagram page, which is popular for itself because it's mine, right? I grew that myself. Like I did it myself. And then I have the podcast Instagram. And then I also, since I got my puppy, I have her Instagram and she has a TikTok as well. I'm that mom. Follow Bay the Retriever, guys.
That's BAY and then
the Retriever. And something that I noticed is
use the promo code too.
Yes, dog. We've only had our dog for 2 days, and she has like a whole promo code. She done became.
What are you getting off?
She didn't even get a. She done became an IG hottie. 20% off of
any toys, any pet related accessories.
At Blessed. What is it? BlessedPaws.com. Yeah,
we
no.
We highly recommend the bandanas.
Brought to you by Blessed Paws.
It's not yet, but it could be if y'all act right.
So free promo codes now.
But no, because it's our dog's promo code.
Right, we get a cut though.
She
gets a cut.
She's only been here 2 days, but she's already working. But so when I was bringing it back to that, something that I noticed with her, with posting her and her social media, that's very popular. Like on TikTok, I was just like, not even on my personal page, like, and I've posted like, you know, the challenges and like all that stuff. Like, no, the dog.
It's the dog.
The dog took it to the next
Animals
level.
are next to hot chicks. Animals are undefeated on the internet.
No, she has more clout than both of us on TikTok right now.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I thought a good song would do it. Cute face.
People write a song every day, player.
Yeah.
I know that's right.
To a 2-month-old puppy.
All right, guys.
Talk about a marketing budget.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and close up the episode. I do want to thank you, Hennessy, for coming through.
Thank you guys for having me.
I appreciate you. I appreciate it. I'm really grateful to have you here. Once you come on the podcast, you are officially part of the Ambition Hour family.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we are always going to be on the lookout for what it is that you do. You're more than welcome to come back again.
If you got to bring a pie for Thanksgiving too.
If you ever have like a comedy special on Netflix or something like that, make sure to hit us up.
Yeah, of course.
We'll laugh in the audience.
Or like what?
It won't be fake.
Or like, you know, to come back for whatever it is that you would like to come back to promote something or anything like that.
Yeah. New show, new podcast.
Yeah, I appreciate your time specifically because that's important. Because like you could have done anything
anywhere else in the world.
Exactly, and you're here with us, so I really appreciate that. And yeah, so thank you. And for guys, don't forget we are still in a pandemic, so make sure that you wash your hands, wash your ass, drink your water, and mind your business. And for the 159th time in a motherfucking row, it's your girl Claudia Renee on your airwaves with my special guest Hennessy Wills and my co-host House 600 in the building. And for the 159th time in a row, we are out of here.
It's the ambition
Shout
hour,
out to
baby.
Juwan.
It's the ambition
Not
hour,
Juwan
baby.
Howard.
It's the
Guys,
ambition hour, baby.
Not even like 3 seconds, okay?